everyone. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany and I want to welcome you to Tika's Gardens. Today, I have been out in the front garden working. I planted coleus and I got some lantana trimmed around the trees in the front there, getting that bed ready, but I really wanted to do some more. So I took myself to the garden center and I looked around to see what I could find. Now, I was really leaning towards begonias, and so I found some really nice begonias. They had a variety of colors. I ended up getting rose pink. And then I was like, what can I do for the evergreen interest? And my neighbors all around me, their azaleas are in bloom. My white azalea is starting to open up, and the azaleas were so pretty around the garden center. They just called me in and I fell for it. So I ended up getting some azaleas. I got fluffy pink azaleas is what it's called. So the azaleas will go in those front circle beds to act as the evergreen interest throughout the year. And then of course early spring will get the beautiful flowers, and they will also separate that circle bed, so it will make it like they're two separate beds, one on each side. And I can duplicate the plantings, or I can do one style of planting on one side and something else on the other to make it look different and provide more interest. I can do anything I want by separating the beds out with those shrubs. So I'm really excited about what kinds of things I will be able to do in the future with those beds now. But before we head to the front and get started, I want to show you what I got from the garden center, and then we'll head out front and start planting. So when I went to the garden center, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but I was really leaning towards begonias, and I got these pink begonias called Rose. And then I also decided to go with azaleas. I have these that are called fluffy pink azaleas. They grow 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So this will provide that evergreen structure in those circle beds for me. So during early spring they'll bloom, and then they'll be green the rest of the season. And as you can see, I have 4 of the azaleas and 2 packs of the begonias, 9 in total in each pack, for a total of 18 begonias. So let's get these planted around these circle beds here in the front so we can get this part of the front garden planting done for the season. Well, maybe not for the season, but at least for now. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the placement. I think where I've placed them right here, flanking each side, a little bit out from the tree, is just right. This will allow it to have room to grow and not be too tight and congested. These flower beds around the trees have really been a difficult spot for me because the soil is so depleted of nutrients. So this year I'm going to make the effort to really work on the soil from this year forward. I'm going to, after I get everything planted, I'm going to go through with a slow release fertilizer to just kind of toss into the bed, and then I'm going to add a really nice, good, rich compost for more nutrients and feeding, and to get the bacteria in the soil and just get it really rich, and hopefully help to get it healthy. And then I'll top it with a good mulch. And I will do this for this spring season, and I'll do it again in the fall when I put out the plants for winter. So I'm hoping that, by doing this every few months, it will enrich the soil and things will have an easier time growing here. Woohoo! The first azalea is in. The pops of color that are starting to show in this bed is just getting me excited. All right, let's go plant the rest. The wind is really strong today. It's blowing my containers and everything all over the place, and it's really loud coming through the recording here, so I apologize for that, but there's nothing we can do about that. It's the weather, and sometimes the wind can be calming, the sound of the wind and all that, so we're just gonna go with it for now, and we're gonna get these flowers planted. Well, everyone, I have all of the plants planted and I think everything looks good. We have our azaleas flanking the tree on both sides, and we have lantana in front of the azaleas, and then right in the very front of this portion here are the two coleus and the begonia. As we come around the back of the tree, as you see, the azaleas will now kind of separate the tree and kind of make it like there's two planting areas. But on the back side, there are 3 lantanas and 2 collections of coleus and begonia in between the lantana. So the back of the tree is similar to the front, just the number of lantana and coleus vary. And same for this tree on the other side. While it's a little bit smaller, it still has the same number of plantings. The azaleas flanking the sides with 2 lantana in front of the azaleas and a collection of coleus and begonias. And then as you come along the back, again, we have 3 lantanas with the coleus and begonias in between. And just keep in mind, in the future, the back side of these beds could be planted with something totally different from the front side. So the azaleas will provide the barrier separating the front from the back. It will provide an evergreen interest throughout the year, and it will give us beautiful flowers in early spring. So that is everything for now. I really love the way it turned out, and I can see in my head what it will look like in the future. All right, guys, that's it for today. I think that was enough work for one day. So I'm gonna call it quits, go in, have some lunch, and enjoy the rest of my day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of yours as well. I will see you in the next video.